home. Not that far. Was it 40 minutes from where we live? 40 minutes. But there's another casino right next to it.
I don't know about 40. It's probably 30. We jumped down the freeway. It's probably 30.
When he told me there was another casino right next to the outlet mall, he said, well, me and Jim's were shopping. We could drop you at the casino. I'm like, I'm in. I won there too. That was fun.
Like, go ahead and keep spending because I'm winning.
Welcome back here to Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Getting set for the Railsplitters in the Trojans Charleston High School here on the Tuesday. This is a makeup game from Thursday. Coach Alexander and Charleston High School was able to quickly get this game rescheduled. The Railers were off all weekend. Got it, and the Railers
fans, go ahead and block your 50-50 tickets for tonight. If you have tonight's winning 50-50 ticket number, please take it to the entryway just in front of the gym doors. We'll present you with your winning score tonight. If you have the winning ticket number, which is 2368487. Take that ticket on to the entryway just in front of the gym doors. Again, that winning 50-50 ticket number 2368487. 2368487.
We got into a pot at the hockey game we were at. We're out in Arizona.
It seems like it's been
pro hockey.
a little while.
Coyotes, and you're having 15,000.
Oh, jeez.
And for $20, you got 60 chances. That's not bad.
Saturday.
But really, 60 chances for $20 is not
knowing what to do with it. And two, I couldn't remember any time that the Raiders had been on, especially after a full weekend. You know, there's been times where we've had maybe one day off. Full weekend like that.
really.
It was going to be prepping night. Did you say prepping night for more on Friday?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
tonight is where you should go.
Wait, it looks like more
I know, right? Not by your
But the Railers in action, so the legs should be rather fresh.
Yeah, they should be well rested, and look for the same game plan as we went over to Charleston, and that's get it down low to Hamlin, and he should be rested, and the Railers should be ready to go. It's been a long time since they've been playing a game, and I think they're ready to go. And
get that first quarter rust off and get them going. They've been practicing that whole time, and this point in the season, that's a long time to be practicing without any games. Scott talked about the last time the Railers and the Trojans met up. That was over in Charleston. That was December 21st. The Railers were victorious 62-27. The Railers are led on the free throw line by Caden Froley. He comes in at 86%. Right behind him is Dylan Singleton at 81, and a factor, a thing we've talked about too, Scott, is how well Jermaine has been from the line, how much he's improved even from the start of the season. Jermaine at 72%, 57 of 79, and we saw in Collinsville, I know that game where he was 13 of 13, I believe, from the line. He's done an excellent job of working on that as the season has gone by, because as we saw in our last game over in Champaign Centennial, they're more than happy to double team and look to foul Jermaine rather than giving up easy layups or dunks.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the season, Josh, he struggled from the line. His shot just didn't look, it looked flat. And now he's got a little more arch on the ball, some rotation, and his free throws have improved dramatically, and his game overall. And he's still learning, he's getting better. And, we're over halfway through the season already, which is hard to believe. We got a lot of home cooking on the schedule, a lot of home games. So the Railers need to start it off tonight and come out with a statement tonight and put this team away early.
Yeah, you're right, Scott. Make it a quick one here on Tuesday, because there's a full weekend coming up of Railer basketball, as long as weather permitting. Will allow us to get some games in. We'll talk about that here in just a couple minutes. We got to take another break. 13 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the warm-ups. You're in the Grau Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic Center pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer basketball. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schnatter Chiropractic Center pregame show on WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Josh Komnick along with Scott Kirby and Lloyd Kirby to my left, getting ready to bring the video to you on the YouTube channel. So you can check that out tonight as we look across Roy S. And a lot of people, I will bet, will be tuning in to that tonight, Lloyd. So don't stall out on the camera. Make sure you keep it rotating because not a lot of people here for the Railers on a Tuesday. The Railers taking on the Trojans from Charleston. Again, the Railers 13-2 on the season, 6-0 in conference play, while Charleston comes in at a 7-11 and 1-6 in Apollo Conference action. The Railers come into the contest averaging 59 points per game while giving up 45. Josh Komnick along with Scott Kirby, and I know Coach Alexander. Scott, is that something that he's wanting to get obviously a little lower? 45 points for the Railers giving up. He knows this team isn't a team that's going to go out and score 70 every night, so we've got to keep our opponents down, and I think it will be a good start tonight because our schedule this weekend, Scott, is tough with some quality opponents. The Railers will be at home on Friday night against the Potters from Morton, and then the Railers are back on the road on Saturday. That's a normal start time. That's a 7:30 start for the Railers. That's in Washington on Saturday, January the 19th. May double check this also. Friday, January the 18th, Morton is here on Friday, and that's set on my schedule as a 6:30 start. So I don't know if that normally we start on Fridays at 6 and 7:30.
Good question.
So it could be a typo, but definitely look into that before you make your way out to Roy S. Anderson, or we'll try and clarify that here at some point before tonight's over. But again, the Railers are at Roy S. on Friday night against Morton, and then on the road in Washington on Saturday. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. After a word from our sponsors, Scott and I'll be back here in Lincoln to bring you the play-by-play action as the Railers take on the Trojans. As always, a big thank you goes out to all our sponsors. This has been the Josh Komnick, Ground Incorporated, and Schnatter Chiropractic Center pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Good evening, Raider fans, and welcome to another broadcast of Lincoln Raider Basketball. WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNsports.com are pleased to bring you this evening's contest from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium on the campus of Lincoln Community High School as the Lincoln Railers take on the Trojans from Charleston, Illinois. Good evening, everyone. This is Scott Kirby alongside Josh Komnick, and we are ready to bring you all of tonight's action. We would like to wish a good evening to all of our listeners around the world listening via 96.3 FM, WLCNsports.com, or on the Mixler app. Turn the volume up and get ready for some Lincoln Raider basketball. Scott Kirby, Josh Komnick, Lloyd Kirby with you here this evening as the Lincoln Railers get ready to take on the Trojans from Charleston, Illinois. The Raiders come in tonight's action 13-2, while the Trojans have a record of 7-11. Josh, it's been a while. As you mentioned early in the pregame show, Mother Nature denied us last week as the Trojans of Charleston were supposed to come into town last Friday. Had some snow predicted.
Yeah.
Came in a little later than we expected. But it did hit, and it hit hard.
Yeah, you're right, and I would have rather been at Roy S. Over the weekend because I was home painting as we were snowed in for most of Saturday and quite a bit of Sunday as well. So
until you're sick of painting and putting it in four-wheel drive.
Yeah, I got to get out of here. The kids are driving me crazy. I got to go burn some trash or something. So yeah, there was a lot of snow, but the Raiders are back in action here, Scott, and I think ready to go. You know, it's you're getting that point of the season, as you talked about earlier, winding right in that middle stretch, I think, where we're, you know, you're at 13-2, and coach usually tries to get in that 30s, you know, that 30 game in a season range. So, you know, the Raiders are going to really hit stride here. We talked about the two games coming up on Friday and Saturday. The Raiders at home against Morton on Friday, and then at Washington on Saturday. And then you're back on Tuesday in Lincoln when Canton comes to town. Muhammad Seymour comes back to Lincoln, and then we travel to Nokomis. So here in the next 2 weeks, we've got 3 games each week now with this rescheduled game hitting here. So a lot of basketball for the Railers, and a stretch that's really important for conference standings. And then obviously right around the corner, Scott, and every game is crucial, are those regional seedings and standings as well.
Absolutely, Josh. And like you said, it's right around the corner. But the Railers get set tonight to take on the Trojans of Charleston. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with some more Lincoln Raider basketball on 96.3 FM.
shoulders too, isn't it? Yeah. Nobody really knew that.
Welcome back to Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Scott Kirby, Josh Komnick with you this evening as the Railers get set to take on the Trojans of Charleston High School. About 1:30 to go till tip. Josh, what are some of the keys tonight? What would you like to see the Railers come out and do right from the get-go?
Well, I think establish Jermaine, as it looks like they have started to do that even more, Scott, in the last couple games. I know if anybody watched on YouTube or was at the game over in Centennial, the Railers really went to Jermaine early and often and paid big dividends for the Railers that night. He was unstoppable. I think 24 points for Jermaine that night. Went at about 8 or 9 rebounds, protected the paint on defense. Maybe the best game I've seen Jermaine play in a Railer uniform was over in Centennial. Seems like a long time ago, and it kind of was, but I think if your coach just establish the early game inside, get some easy baskets. Not saying the shooting won't be there right away, but the Railers have been off for almost 10 days now, probably 11 days, and might take a little time, knock the rust off to get the shooters ready. So start early, start often, start early in with some easy baskets, and then work your way outside. Get your rhythm going first, and then get everything going. Run the floor. We got a size advantage inside with Jermaine, and I think we've got an athleticism advantage as well. I'd like to see the Railers push the basketball and work on that part of it a little bit too. Obviously, defense. Against Champaign Centennial, they were able to get some threes against us, as that's been a little bit of the Railers' problem guarding the three-point line, and maybe a little bit tonight as well.
All right, the buzzer's off. We get set for the national anthem. We'll take a commercial break. We have Tuesday basketball as the Lincoln Railers get set to take on the Trojans of Charleston, Illinois. We'll be back after these messages.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lincoln Community High School. As we gather here tonight in celebration of American sportsmanship and our precious way of life, and in honor of the many thousands of men and women who have served our nation continue to serve our nation today. We ask you to please rise and face the colors of the flag. Gentlemen, remove your hats. We also invite all veterans and active members of the military to salute the flag as we present our national anthem.
Lincoln Railer basketball is back on the air as the Lincoln Railers get set to take on the Trojans of Charleston, Illinois. Scott Kirby, Josh Komnick with you this evening as we get set for the starting lineups on this evening's action. So Charleston, the visitors on the scoreboard.
Yeah, again, the Trojans from Charleston come in at 7-11 on the season, 1-6 in conference play. They are under the direction of head coach Mr. Blaine Mayhall. Their colors are red and gold with a school enrollment over at Charleston High School of 802 Charleston-Tue students. Right now the starting lineups for the guys on the scoreboard, on the guests on the scoreboard. 5'9" and a sophomore. Where's the number 3 is Corey Spohr. Also at the other guard is a 6-foot senior, number 5, Zach Finley. 6'4" junior. Where's the number 14 is Isaac Miller. 23 is a 5'10" guard, sophomore, Cade Landris. And the guy in the middle for the Trojans, where's the number 24, 6'5" and a forward, Caleb Hurst. The Charleston Trojans have their black jerseys on with red and gold down the side, with Charleston across the front, with also their numbers on the front and the back. And the pep band here getting ready for the Railer introductions. The Railers again 13-2 on the season, 6-0 in Apollo Conference action, which tonight is a conference game on a Tuesday here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Of course, the Railers are under the direction of Mr. Neil Alexander with a school enrollment of 819 students. First out is the big man, the man in the middle, number 34, 6'10", and a senior, Jermaine Hamlin. Right behind Mr. Hamlin is a 6'3" junior. Where's the number 23 is Will Ewald. Leading scorer for the Railers, 6'2" and a junior, number 5, Caden Froby. Next out is a 5'10" sophomore. Where's the number 3 is Dylan Singleton. And rounding out the starters is number 2, 6 foot and a junior, Mr. Cameron Whiteman.
And the rest of your Lincoln Railsplitters come to the direction of head coach Mr. Neil Alexander.
Tonight's tip-off is brought to you by Gymnasium Ford Lincoln. The gently used trade-ins are busting at the seams at Gymnasium Ford Lincoln, which means great savings for you. Give Denny Small or Ed Segelkey a call at 217-732-2111 and let them put you behind the wheel of a beautiful new vehicle while saving you thousands. The Lincoln Railers in their home whites, green numbers with red trim, and the Trojans of Charleston, Illinois with a gray uniform, gold numbers and letters with red trim, as Hamlin and Hurst get set to jump.
Hey Lincoln, are you ready?
Not a big crowd here tonight, Josh, so
No, Railers will have to do a lot of on their own. You know,
you
you
have to
here's
dig deep.
almost like a road game sometimes, you know, and the Railers have got to be able to do that. We've done a good job on the road anyway. Here's a dunk.
The tip is controlled by Lincoln, and right away they get it into the big boy as he slams it home for the first bucket of this evening's contest.
They like to run that play where Froby comes out underneath off a screen from Hamlin, and then Hamlin quickly turns. They kick it over to Froby in front of the visitors' bench and quickly throw it into Hamlin, who was a lob, and of course Froby usually gives it right to Jermaine where he needs it. First turnover by Charleston as the Railers get a hand on the basketball, tips off the backboard, and then Whiteman comes up with it.
Railers with the second possession of the night. They get it back into Hamlin. He goes back up for another slam.
Yeah, tough to go again. Now 2 back-to-back plays where they're being able to lob it right over the top of the Charleston defense, and 2 slams. We talked about high percentage shots early on, Scott. Can't get much better than that.
Well, they know it's coming. They just can't defend it. There's a deep 3 from Landris. It's good.
Yeah, 23 was Landris, and as you said, that was a deep 3 from way out. So the sophomore gets Charleston on the board.
Roby pulls up from the elbow off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound comes down to Spower. Spower gets it up. He's guarded there by Singleton. Lincoln 4, Charleston 3. Game just underway. That's Landris up top. He'll dribble left. He'll get it to Finley. Now in the corner. That's Miller. Back to Finley. Over to Landris. Now in the corner to Hurst. They'll kick it back up top. Now Hurst in the corner. Nothing there. He'll kick it back up to Landris, who's guarded by Ewald.
Yeah, Charleston almost in a 2-2-1 zone offense, and haven't got a lot going to the basket. They had to shoot it deep from Landris to begin the to get their only basket, but a lot of it so far has been around the three-point line.
4-3, advantage Railers. 2 minutes have gone in the first. That's Charleston being patient now. They get it down to the lane, and they're going to get a travel on Landris. Second turnover for Charleston.
Second turnover. They've got a 3 and 2 turnovers for the first 3 possessions for the Trojans. Obviously something the Railers want are turnovers by them and continue to get the boy, big boy.
Another slam, and Josh, that's just way too easy.
Yeah, he's not even trying. I think that's Hurst underneath, 24, and he's slight of build at 6'5", but very little effort by the Trojans so far of doing anything to stop Jermaine. 3 dunks on 3 possessions for Jermaine.
Trojans with the ball, down by 3. There's Hurst, jump, he kicks it in the corner, nothing there for Spower. He'll swing it back around. Landris, guarded by Singleton. He gets it over, now back to Landris. Up top. Ewald comes out and grabs him. Now Spower. He'll go left. Nothing there. Finley. Charleston now another deep 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound Singleton.
Yeah, good job by Dillon. He contested the shot, then boxed out, and then went and got the long rebound. So good job by the sophomore of contesting that deep 3.
Railers with the ball up by 3. It's been all Hamlin in the early going, as now they're getting a body on him.
Yeah, they're almost boxing him out now, and this you got to be real close for him as far as Hurst underneath. That's drawing a foul.
Froby gets it to Ewald up top. They'll get it over to Whiteman. Now Singleton. There's down low to Hamlin. He gets in there to the lane. Another slam and a foul.
Yeah, it's high percentage basketball for Jermaine, and the rim is getting tired of Jermaine already. Yeah, it's been hammer time for Jermaine. 4 of 4 on the field goals, and the Railers have done a really good job of not forcing anything, just kind of waiting for Jermaine to get his legs as Jermaine misses the free throw. But boy, I don't know why you would go away from that, Scott. Yeah. It's working pretty well.
Railers up by 5 halfway through the first. It's been Jermaine Hamlin so far, and the dunk.
Yeah, Dunk City.
Charleston with the basketball, and the only look they've had was a deep 3 twice. One good, one not. There's another 3, no good. Off of Froby. It's going to stay with Charleston as Froby and I think Whiteman fought for it, but couldn't grab it, and out of bounds on the baseline. Spower to inbound. Gets it over to Miller. Now Landris, he goes up. Jermaine tried to get the block, couldn't get there. Up off the backboard and good.
Yeah, nice little play there. A nice move, too, by Landris. He's shown us a few things. Just a 5'10" sophomore for Charleston. So nice-looking young player that they've got.
Raiders with the basketball, up by 3. 3:30 to go in the first quarter. Now Hamlin's got to be careful with getting a little too aggressive down there. Pushing off, and it's going to be off of Hamlin as they try to get it to him in the corner, off his hands. Turnover, Lincoln.
Yeah, I thought they forced it just a little bit that time. Froby tried to get it to Jermaine and really wasn't open at that time. They've gone zone now as Charleston to try and compact that zone a little bit more and keep it away from Jermaine with easy touches, and so far it did work.
And get a foul on Singleton. I'm sorry, foul on Froby.
Yeah, Froby.
That's his first, team first. 3:03 to go in the first. Lincoln up by 3. Charleston gets it in. That's Landris up top. Guarded by Singleton. Now Trapp. He gets it over in the corner to Finley. Now Finley back to Landris. Over to Finley. Get it down low to Hurst. Now they'll reset. Charleston being very patient. Just trying to find an open look. Now they get it down low. Now they kick it out in the corner. Nothing there.
Yeah, he thought otherwise there. He saw Jermaine coming as he had a shot fake and couldn't get by Jermaine, and he saw him coming. That was Spar decided not to shoot that one. Travel.
There's another travel on Landers as he tried to get to the lane. Took one too many steps. Another turnover. Charleston, Lincoln basketball. Railers up by 3. Just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Tuesday night action here at Roy S. Anderson as the Railers have the basketball. It's tipped away off of Hurst, out of bounds. It will stay with the Railers.
Yeah, so a little youth on this team as well, Scott, for the Trojans. Started a couple sophomores and a junior.
It's Whiteman. He gets it on the elbow to Singleton. Head shot, head fake. He was up and good with the layup.
Yeah, not a lot of times do you put your point guard at the free throw line, Scott, but what Coach Al tries to do is surround the perimeter against the zone with 3 shooters. He's got Ewald, Froby, and Whiteman surrounding the three-point line. And really, Dylan's probably the best player at the free throw line. A really good shooter from that range, and a good guy that gets to the basket.
Little jumper, good for Miller. Lincoln 10, Charleston 7. Railers with the basketball. That's Singleton. Now back up top to Froby. Now Whiteman on the wing gets it over to Ewald. Nothing there. Now Ewald will take a 3. Will Ewald misses. Hammond gets the rebound.
Yeah.
Back up off the backboard. He's fouled.
Great job.
Count the bucket.
Froby tipped in the back. Froby went up for the rebound. Couldn't corral it, but he saw Jermaine had great position, and that's just a really good basketball play. Tipped it right to Jermaine. Jermaine grabbed it. You could almost give Froby assist on that. You know, he tipped it right to him, and he grabbed it and put it back in, and Jermaine got fouled again. So Hurst goes to the bench with 2 fouls, and really, Scott, he's about the only guy with any kind of size that can be somewhat close to Jermaine at 6'4". He's going to go to the bench here in the first quarter with 2 fouls.
Hamlin's free throw's good. He's got 11 of the 13 points for the Railers. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. And that's Miller with it. Gets it down low, little head fake by Spower, now up and good. Hamlin couldn't get there. Spower able to finish.
Well, Charleston not going away. We've had some easy baskets, but Charleston able to answer here on their offensive end. So the Railers not doing a very good job defensively so far. Offensively doing a good job of finding Jermaine, but again, Charleston hanging close here at 13-9.
20 seconds to go in the first. Railers with the basketball. They'll look to hold for the last shot of the quarter as Ewald has it up top. Now he'll get it back to Singleton. 10 on the clock. Froby to Singleton up top. Gets it to Whiteman. Now Froby in the corner for a 3. In and out, no good. Whiteman there for a rebound. It's going to be off of Whiteman. And with 1.2 seconds to go in the first, it will be Charleston basketball.
Yeah, shot in and out for Froby. Had a good look there.
There's a 3-quarter shot by Landris. No good. And after the first quarter of play, it's the Railers 13, Trojans 9. We'll take a commercial break. We'll come back with second quarter action. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Coach Neil Alexander Court, Scott Kirby, Josh Komnick with you. As the Railers starts the second quarter, up 13-9. Charleston basketball, as they almost turn it over. They were able to grab it, and that's Simpson with it. And we're going to get a foul down low. It's going to be on
Jermaine.
On Hamlin.
Yeah, that was odd.
There's a little jumper on the way from Finley. Count it. 13-11, Raiders with the lead. And Charleston able to make a game of this early, Josh.
Yeah, you're right. They're getting easy baskets.
Deep three. Nope, it's an alley-oop to Hamlin for the slam.
Yeah, now I think Jermaine's 5 of 5, maybe 6 of 6 from the field, and 4 or 5 dunks and 1 putback, basically, for Jermaine. So
almost a steal by Singleton. He does get it, rips it out of there, drives. He has it tapped away, and Miller drives to the basket, up and no good. Rebound Singleton. He looks to push. We got a 3-on-2, gets it to Ewald. He pulls up for a jumper.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, great job by Dylan of staying with it. You know, he stole it the first time, then got it stolen back from him, but then he went down and got the rebound, led the break, and Will did a good job. The middle lane, the lane was compacted with a bunch of Trojans in there, and he stopped and popped from about 6 feet. So good job by Will of not getting into the traffic.
17-11, Lincoln with the lead. Picking up their intensity on defense.
Yeah, I think Coach is ready to start moving a little bit quicker. You know, right now Charleston was getting way too many easy baskets, getting right in the middle of the lane, and that's a no-no against the 1-2-2. A lot of teams can score from there.
Charleston with the basketball. They are down by 6. Try to dribble through the pressure. Ewald strips it. He's going to go up off the backboard and good.
Nice usage to the left hand too by Ewald. He had Hurst or Landris coming right on the side of him on his right side, but Will went to that left hand on the left side and was able to get the steal and the layup.
That's a fake there, and then now Charleston will swing it around. There's a 3 on the way, no good. Rebound comes down to Simpson. Now they'll kick it back out and reset. Landris, guarded by Froby. He'll dribble right, get it over to Simpson. Now back to Landris. In the corner to Miller. Now they try to get it down to Spower. It's going to be off his shoulder, out of bounds, Lincoln basketball. Josh, we're yet to see a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer. Yeah. And we are about a quarter and a half.
What, attempted just one, I think. Yeah. Froby on this side, and that was in and out. So, but boy, you just don't go away from what's working. It's got to now, you know, with Landris going to the not Landris, but Hurst going to the bench for the Trojans at 6'4", they have nobody even close to the size of Jermaine underneath.
There's Ewald. He's going to throw up a 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound comes down to Finley of Charleston. They look to push. Now they'll get it to Spower. He'll drive, kick it out. Nothing there. Now Miller. He'll drive to the lane. Up and good. Miller gets into the lane and able to make the runner to make the score. 19-13, 5 minutes to go in the second period.
Yeah, this is a lineup that I don't know that we've seen a whole lot of on the floor for the Railers, Scott, is Froby at the point. You've got Whiteman out there.
3 for Whiteman. Got it. Cam Whiteman for a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer.
Nice skip pass by Hamlin, but you've got Froby at the point, probably trying to get a little more length up at the top. Ewald, Whiteman on the wings, and Hollinger and Jermaine back. So about as big of a lineup as we can put out on the floor.
Charleston calls a 30-second timeout. 4:36 to go in the first half.
I want to tell everybody, speaking of Hollinger, Railers sophomores were victorious again tonight, Scott, by a score of 45-22.
Hey.
Heads up, Lloyd. Earthquake going on over on up here in the balcony, but Railers sophomores improve again, 45-22. So another win for head coach Greg Alexander.
And Josh, the only loss they have on the season came
Centennial
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the last buzzer beater from half court. Yeah, we were there watching it. Yeah, it was a line drive and nothing but net. I mean, it was just something perfect, and he drained it. So
Charleston with the basketball, 4:25 to go. There's a three on the way from Finley. He's able to nail it, and that's going to bring the Charleston Trojans within 6 points of the Railers.
Yeah, 22-16 with 4:10 left here in the first half.
Railers with the basketball. Kirby gets it down to Hollinger, now to Whiteman. He's going to throw up a three. That's off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound comes down to the Trojans, and Simpson pushes it out of there. Landris now back to Simpson. He'll dribble right. Now back to over to Miller, now down low. Now another three on the way from Finley is good, and just like that, it's a three-point ball game.
Yeah, they're getting into the middle and they're kicking it out, and Finley is the guy that came on here and hit a couple threes in that corner, a lefty. And again, Scott, though, they're hurting us in the middle.
Whiteman in the corner for a three, got it. Cam Whiteman for his second. Chris Coyne, State Farm three-pointer.
Yeah, the only threes for.
There's a steal by Ewald. No foul was called. He tries to get up to Froby. Now Froby to Whiteman off the backboard and good.
Yeah, a little good defense there by Ewald right in front of the scores table. Was able to tip it away, and Froby gets another tip away there.
Now the Railers on a little bit of a run of their own as they are up by 8. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Charleston swings it around. They get it all the way over to Finley. He's got the hot hand. He throws up a runner off the rim, no good. Hamlin goes up and gets it, and he brings it down to his waist, Josh, and he's able to get Spower, able to tie him up for the jump ball.
Jump ball will stay the Railers' ball, but again, of course, you hear that from Pee Wee basketball all the way until the pros. Keep that ball up, and Jermaine was high up. Nobody else was going to get that rebound but Jermaine, but then he brought it down to about waist level, and Spower was able to get a couple hands on it.
Railers with the basketball up by 8, 2:30 to go in the second quarter. Whiteman pulls up for a jumper, airballed it. Rebound comes down to Finley. Landris dribbles right, gets it to Simpson. Now in the corner to Miller, up top to Landris. There's Finley, keep an eye on him.
Yeah, the Railers got to figure out a way to cover the middle, Scott. Everything has happened through the middle. They go in the middle and then out, or got into the middle and scored.
There's Spower for a jumper, no good. Rebound Froby. Froby kicks it up to Singleton. Singleton looks to push. Now he does. Kicks it off to Hamlin. Hamlin goes up, slams it with authority.
Yeah, great pass.
For his 15th point, Josh.
And a great pass by Singleton. He drove baseline right in front of us, and then the defensive man had to come and contest what he thought was going to be Singleton's layup, and then Jermaine was right in the middle.
There's a three from Landris. I'm sorry, that's Miller.
So another three there by Charleston, who just kind of keeps within striking range. And we've talked about this before, and in years past too, the Railers of finding that killer instinct and being able to take teams and bury them early or bury them in that third quarter, and we just haven't been able to do that here tonight either.
Railers with the basketball up by 7. Charleston able to stay in the game because of the three-point shooting of Finley and Miller. Railers with the basketball. Now they'll look to run some time down, maybe take the last shot of the first half. Whiteman has it up top. 50 to go on the clock. Now they'll pick up the pace a little bit. That's Froby. Now to Whiteman. Back up top to Froby. Froby a drive, nothing there. Kicks it to Hamlin. And once again, he brings it down to his waist, Josh, and they're able to grab it and tie him up.
Yeah, and really wasn't a great pass. Jermaine had a lot of guys around him, and Froby gave it to him in an area probably where he's not real comfortable at. Now, not saying that Jermaine shouldn't have been able to rip that ball away and keep the possession alive, but it just looked out of sorts on that possession. It looked like Coach was calling the play, and Dylan was trying to get a play relayed to the rest of the guys, and it just seemed out of sorts there.
Timeout, Charleston. It's a 30-second timeout with 26.1 on the clock. Lincoln up by 7. We'll keep it right here. So Charleston, a little different story than the first time we faced them, Josh. They're able to come in here and hit some threes. Not really anything in the lane just because of Hamlin, his length, but They've hit some big shots from the arc.
But they've been able to get it to the lane. You know, they've been able to get it to that free throw line and kick out, or they've been able to make a few shots around that free throw line area, which has opened up the perimeter. And then we can't seem to get out on their shooters quick enough, and they've been able to knock some down. So you're right, they've had a better game plan, and I think obviously your game plan looks better when you're making shots, and tonight so far they are.
Charleston with the basketball to finish out the second quarter. 20 seconds on the clock. Railers up by 7. Miller's going to hold it up top. Now get it over to Landers. Now back to Miller. To Landers. He'll dribble right. He'll throw up a 3. That's going to be good.
No, airball.
No.
It looked good. It looked good. It was a perfect air ball. It went right underneath the net.
Yeah, I did.
Fooled me. You need glasses.
Well, you're right. I do. All right, that's going to do it for the first half. Your halftime score: the Railers 29, the Trojans.
Please welcome to the floor your Lincoln Community High School cheer squad.
Welcome back to WLCN Gymnasium on the campus of the the Trojans from Charleston, Illinois, 22. Josh, we got some stats?
Yeah, we'll go through the scoring here, Scott, real quick. Jermaine Hamlin with the early lead in the scoring column for the Railers. He comes out on fire and a lot of dunks. Scott, 7 of 7 from the field for Jermaine. He's got 15 points, 8 for Cameron Whiteman, 4 for Will Ewald, and Dylan Singleton with 2. Froby held scoreless here in the first half. For Charleston, they were led by Zach Finley. He had 8, 7 points for Isaac Miller, 5 for Cade Landers, and 2 for Corey Spauer for the 22. 29-22, the Railers up here at half. We're going to take a break. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes here in the Grau Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic Center halftime show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Incorporated. And this is our Chiropractic Center halftime show. Josh Komnick along with Scott Kirby, Lloyd Kirby, a halftime off. And the Raiders up 29-2.
And to get this thing started early. So Be nice to have a nice third quarter here early and often and put this thing out of reach here before about 4-minute mark in the third.
Railers basketball to start the second half as they swing it around. Whiteman to Ewald. Now to Whiteman. They look for Hamlin down low. Nothing there. They'll kick it back out and swing it around. Froby on the wing. There's Hamlin down low. Up off the backboard and good.
Yeah, when it gets swung from that side to that side, it's almost impossible when Jermaine can hold him off with that hand offhand, and then Froby does a good job of hitting him with his offhand, and it's a layup. I mean, Jermaine 8 of 8 from the field, and it's been point blank for him. He's not taking a shot outside of a foot, maybe 2 feet at most.
Railers up by 9. Charleston with their first possession of the second half.
Looks like a little more intensity here by the Railer defense. We're starting to cover up some guys a little bit more. Froby out, way out perimeter. Dillon way out at the half-court line, pressuring the basketball.
Get it down low to Spower. Nothing there. He's going to save it, but off of Cam Whiteman. He's going to stay with the Trojans. And like you said, Josh, we can afford to get out and guard them guards. We're not in foul trouble. They get it down low. We got Hamlin down there to take care of the paint.
Right, you got a rim protector, so get out and gamble a little bit and cover some guys up and make them drive by you. You've got the big boy underneath to redirect or block some shots.
There's a 3 on the way by Miller. Got it. Singleton couldn't get out there in time to cover him. And
Miller.
Trojans able to hit another 3.
Yeah, 6'4" junior from deep.
Railers only with what, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 3-pointers on the night attempts.
Yeah, there were 2 of 7 in the first half.
There's Whiteman up off the backboard, no good, rolls out. Rebound comes down to Miller for Charleston. Now Spower, he looks to drive behind the back pass, over to Finley. He lays it up and good. A little razzle-dazzle there from the Trojans.
Yeah, and you see the little life in the Trojan step right now. You know, they're going behind the back, they're doing this, and right now the Railers kind of letting them do that.
Railers leading the Apollo Conference right now. They got a target on their back, and right now Charleston tried to hand them their first loss in the Apollo as the Railers have a lead 31-27, 5:48 to go in the third, and that's a foul on number 23, Landris, his first, team first. Try to get down low to Hamlin. It's swatted out of there. Charleston looks to push. In the corner to Miller. He thinks about a 3, nothing there. Now to Spower. They swing it around. Good ball movement by Charleston. Now they get it down low, tapped away. Froby goes after it, couldn't get it. Now Charleston.
Yeah, again, the loose ball goes to the Trojans, just a little quicker on the step than the Railers.
Landers all the way back out to Miller. There's Spower, he dribbles, gets it to Hurst. Hamlin swats it out of there, but out of bounds. Stays with Charleston.
Yeah, right now it's got it, and even Charleston is just moving the ball really quickly through that 1-2-2 zone, and the Railers are chasing and scrambling to guard the basketball. And when that happens, when you're chasing and scrambling and you can't find the ball, usually that leads to an open shot or an easy layup underneath.
There's a 3 on the way by Finley. Off, no good. Rebound comes down to Spower. As they get him trapped in the corner, he throws it away. Hamlin comes out of it with it, gets it to Whiteman. Now Whiteman all the way up to Froby. Froby dribbles to the basket, up and good.
Got it, yeah. Froby, we've seen it a lot this year. He goes baseline, and he goes baseline with that right hand and clicks it over to his strong hand on the left and was able to get a layup to go. So
Lincoln
big basket there for the Railers.
Lincoln up by 6, halfway through the third. Charleston with the basketball. Landers guarded by Singleton. Over to Finley, now back to Landers. First in the game, he's got 2 fouls. Now Finley. There's a deep 3 by Landers, airballed it. Hurst grabs it, saves it. Spower goes out and gets it. Now Hurst. Kicks it out to Miller for a three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Ewald.
Yeah, and right now the Trojans again out-hustled the Railers on that possession. They were able to get a couple loose balls, just couldn't get the three to go. But they're right there out-hustling the Railers.
Singleton within the corner. He gets it to Froby. Now to Whiteman up top to Singleton. To Froby in the corner for a three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound comes down to the Trojans. Spower pushes. Ewald cuts him off. Now they'll swing it around. Landris. Now to Hurst. Finley. Try to get it there to Spower. Nothing there. They'll kick it back out. Miller drives, pulls up. No shot. He's going to be fouled before the shot. Going to get Ewald with the foul. That's his first, team first. Lincoln 33, Charleston 27, 3:10 to go in the third period. A little different ball game than the first time we saw them, Josh.
Yeah, you're right. They've got a lot of confidence right now, and like I said, they're moving the basketball really quickly against that 1-2-2, which doesn't happen a lot. And when you can do that, they're creating holes. They're finding shooters with open shots, and there's a lot of guys in high school that are going to make open threes.
Charleston just had another turnover. Now Lincoln has the basketball, up by 6. Singleton gets to the lane. Pull-up jumper's good for Singleton, the sophomore.
And I think he can do a lot more of that, Scott. He's the middle's wide open. They're so worried about the outside shooters on the perimeter that, and then they're so worried about Jermaine underneath that middle's wide open. Dylan can get right in that free throw line, that 8-foot area where he's really good at.
Lincoln up by 8. Charleston with the basketball. That's Miller for a three off the rim, no good. Rebound to Singleton. Singleton will trot it up. Now they look to push. That's Ewald for a three. Got it. Will Ewald for a Chris Coyne. State Farm three-pointer.
Yeah, a good job by Jermaine, too. Jermaine ran the floor and kind of attracted a lot of guys as he was going to the block, which took a lot of defenders with him, and then Dylan was able to kick it up to Ewald, and Ewald got his feet set.
Railers extend the lead to 3. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Off of Miller. Gonna go to the Railers. Good call there.
Yeah, it was clearly off them.
See, I don't need glasses. I saw that perfectly. Now that three-pointer was deceiving. You got to give me a little.
It was a little bit.
Credit there. Still thinking about that.
Yeah, it didn't go through, but it looked good.
Railers with the basketball up by 11, 1:30 to go in the third. As Froby drives to the basket, he'll be fouled before the shot. Fouls on number 5, Finley. That's his first. Team first.
Yeah, not a lot of fouls. It's either been an easy basket for Jermaine or a three so far for the Railers. So not a lot of penetration. Now that the Trojans are in this basically like a 2-3 matchup zone.
There's the alley-oop to Hamlin. He goes up and gets it and slams it home. Perfect alley-oop from Froby to Hamlin as they are able to finish, take a 13-point lead.
That takes a lot of timing, too. Those, of course, Coach Alexander goes over those plays a lot.
Simpson for a three, airballed it, comes down to Hollinger, who hands off to Singleton.
But Froby and Hamlin have really, and when Froby throws it and when Jermaine is ready for it, they work really well together.
Railers up by 13, 50 seconds to go in the third period, as we'll see if they can hold it for the last shot of the third. Whiteman will hold it up top. Now to Singleton as they swing it around. Hollinger into the ball game. He checked in for Ewald. I've still yet to see Postgay or Funk, Josh. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, a little bit. Dylan's been out there the whole game. I think he was subbed in a little bit for a couple minutes, but Hollinger came in for him with a different lineup. So, not sure what happened. Maybe it was a lineup where Coach liked a little bit more tonight.
10 on the clock. Railers with the basketball. That's Singleton. He'll kick it over to Froby. Froby's going to shoot a three. Got it. Caden Froby for a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer, and that will do it for the third period. as the Railers extend their lead to 16. We'll go to commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We'll have fourth quarter action when we return. You're listening to Lincoln Raider Basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to tonight's action here at Roy S. Anderson as the Railers take a 16-point lead into the fourth quarter. Charleston basketball to start the fourth as we are underway. It's tapped out of there by Whiteman. Another turnover for Charleston. Singleton looks to push. Now over to Froby. Now back up top to Singleton.
Yeah, the Railers outscored Charleston in that quarter, Scott, 14-5, which gives a big run here and a nice third quarter there for the Railers. A lot better defensively, although Charleston just didn't make as many shots as they had been.
Whiteman now to Singleton in the corner. And all the way across to Froby. Dangerous pass. Now Hollinger, they'll swing it. That's Whiteman to Hollinger. He'll dribble left, pull it back out. Now get it to Froby on the wing. Whiteman in the corner, nothing there. Railers moving the ball. Now Whiteman thinks about a three, gets it to Hamlin. Hamlin throws it all the way out to Singleton up top. Now Singleton will pull it back and get it to Froby. Froby dribbles in, looks for Hollinger down low, kicks it out to Whiteman for a three, follows through his shot and nails it.
Yeah, better movement. Chris Coyne three-pointer there by Whiteman. It was a nice pass from Froby to a cutting Hollinger underneath the basket, and Hollinger kept his eyes up and found Whiteman over in that corner.
Three-pointer attempted by Charleston. They outloaded it to Hamlin. He couldn't get it. Another jumper on the way. Froby comes down with the rebound.
No, Froby's got long arms. You know, he does a good job of rebounding, jumps decently well, but he gets a lot of rebounds and his arms fully extended, and he's got a big reach.
There's Hollinger for a three, got it. Landon Hollinger for Chris Coyne. State Farm, three-pointer.
Yeah, credit Caden too on that time, was able to get in the middle of that lane against a 2-3, and it kicked it out to Hollinger, and Hollinger ready to shoot.
Lincoln up by 21, just like that, Josh, and going on a little bit of run of their own. 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Lincoln up 21.
Timeout, Charleston.
Timeout, Charleston. A full timeout, so we'll take one with them. 6:04 to go in the fourth. Lincoln 49, Charleston 27. (49-27), Raiders with the lead. 6:04 to go in the fourth as Charleston calls a full timeout. Kind of an extended timeout.
Still in a timeout. Somebody forget the buzzer over there. Good Derek Young and
Joe Ryan
E.
on
Young.
the clock.
You know, some of those guys hit a buzzer. It's time to go home.
Got about a 2-minute timeout there. It's a Tuesday night, fellas. I want to get home. Some people have to work in the morning. And being a insurance guy, he doesn't really have to work. I mean,
doesn't have.
Does he?
I'm not sure he's got a boss that tells him when to be in. No,
I don't think he does.
not a bad gig.
You know, maybe his old lady, but Charleston with the basketball, 6 minutes to go in the fourth. There's a three on the way by Miller, good. Miller with another three-pointer. He's got 10 on this evening. Points, that is, not three-pointers. I'm sorry, 13 points. There's a steal by Spower. He's going to go up, and good. So the Railers come out a little lazy after the timeout, and Charleston able to get quick 5 points.
Yeah, and cuts the lead back to 17 here, but, we've kind of gotten away, or maybe the Trojans have done a little bit better job on Jermaine.
There's a jumper by Singleton at his spot, Josh.
Yep, at the free throw line, and I think that's why the coaching staff and Coach Ewald puts him there. He's a really good free throw shooter when he gets fouled, but he's also a good shooter from that area too. So a guy that can pass, can shoot, can drive from that spot is a big help for this Railer team.
51-32 Railers, 5 to go in the ball game. Trojans with the basketball. That's Landers. He hands off to Spower. Now to Miller. Kick it out to Landers. Finley's been quiet the second half. Now to get it down low, that's Spower. He's not going anywhere. He's blocked by Hollinger. The sophomore gets a block as Hurst tries to put it back up. It won't go. Hamlin with the rebound. Halfway through the fourth, Lincoln with a 51-32 lead as Froby tries to hit a three. Hollinger goes up and gets the rebound. Kicks it back out to Ewald. He's going to pull up for a jumper. Airballed it.
No. But
Singleton's right there to grab it and put it back in.
Yeah, offensive rebound, and Dillon didn't even bring it down. And it really wasn't at a good angle either. He got it, didn't bring it down, but was underneath the basket a little bit, kind of redirected his body and was able to get it on the bankboard. So nice rebound under there by 5'10" sophomore guard getting an offensive rebound and putting it right in.
Ewald picks up his second foul. Team third. Sorry, that's Ewald's first foul. Collier checks in for the Railers. The other senior. Three from Landers, no good. Rebound fought for. Hurst was able to tap it out of there. That's Spower. Finley dribbles left and runs into either Hamlin or Collier. He's going to get 2 free throws. Who are they going to get the foul on? It looks like Hamlin. It's Hamlin's second foul. Team fourth. Finley will go to the line shooting 2. Makes the first. 20-point advantage for the Railers. Second one's off the rim, no good. Whiteman taps it out of there. Hamlin grabs it. Now hands off to Whiteman. Whiteman looks to push, gets it up to Collier. Now back to Whiteman. He'll dribble left, hand off to Singleton. Whiteman to Collier. Collier dribbles in, lays it up,
nice.
And good.
Yeah, nice move by Collier too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got the ball in the middle to Whiteman. Whiteman kicked out to Collier. An aggressive drive baseline by Collier.
Lincoln up by 22, and who's going to be guilty of that one? Foul is on number 2, Whiteman. His second, 15th foul. 3 to go, 3 minutes that is, in the fourth, and Hamlin just picked up his third. Got a little too aggressive going out there to try to trap him in the corner. Team 6, so Charleston will be in the bonus on the next foul. Hamlin's third. He's got 19 points as they try to inbound to Hurst. And that's a jump ball. Going to get a foul. That is going to be on Whiteman. He picked up his third real quick. Yeah.
About 3 fouls in a matter of about 5 seconds for Whiteman.
So Hurst, he'll be to the line for the 1. And the bonus. As this first one rolls in. Hurst's second free throw. Gets it as well. 55-35, 3:06 to go in the fourth. Whiteman gets it over in a hurry. Now to Collier, up top to Singleton. Singleton to Collier, nothing there. Now he'll drive, kick out to Whiteman. Now the Railers just looking to eat some time off that clock and get away with their victory as Hamlin goes up, tries to slam it down, but he'll be fouled by Hurst.
Yeah, almost like
he'll
a
go to the line
little
for
pick
two.
and roll with Dylan and Jermaine right in front of the student section over there, and it was a pick, and Dylan came off, and Jermaine's man went to come and help on Dylan, and Dylan did a good job of finding Jermaine going right to the basket as Jermaine steps up and with that nice rotation. First one's down, gives Jermaine 20 on the night.
Second free throw rims out, no good. Rebound comes down to Charleston. 56-35, 2:30 to go in the ball game. Spauer trapped in the corner by Collier and Whiteman. Off of his own leg. No, it's going to say it's tapped off of one of the Railers. It's going to stay Charleston basketball on the baseline. As Landon Hollinger checks in for Hamlin, out of props, he exits with 20 points. 20 points even.
Yep, 29 for Jermaine on pretty easy 20 points.
Bunch of dunks. There's a deep three, got it. That's Landers for a deep three.
Couldn't get a whole lot easier for Jermaine tonight. He could make a good living on that kind of percentage.
Whiteman to Collier, now all the way up top to Ewald. Now in the corner for Hollinger. He hits another three.
Yeah, he was waiting ready.
That's Hollinger's second Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer as the Railers get back to 21-point lead.
Will kicked it right over to Hollinger, and Hollinger had those hands ready, as you try and teach every shooter to have those hands ready, feet set, and he grabbed and shot and nothing but net.
Minute 30 to go in the ball game. Trojans with the basketball, down 21. Hollinger rips it out of there for a steal. His confidence has got to be growing a little bit, Josh. He kind of struggled a little bit, first part of the season when he got some varsity time. But now he's settling in nicely.
You're right. I think a little nerves when he first started to come in, but as he's grown quite a bit in that sophomore team, he's become even a little more of an important part here on the varsity, and I think that will increase as the season goes on. It seems like Coach Alexander's trust in him is growing a little bit more as well.
Railers with the basketball, just over a minute to go in the ball game. Collier, he'll drive, up, swatted out of there. And we're going to call a foul on Spauer. So Collier will go to the line shooting two. First one's up and rolls in and good.
Yeah, 3 points for Spauer. Sorry. Wrong team. Hey. Getting late.
Collier. It is late. It's Tuesday, so. Lincoln up by 22 and another turnover as the Railers come out of there with it. And we're going to get a timeout by Coach Al, a substitution timeout as Tungate, Ferguson, McGrath check in for the Railers. Get them some varsity time in the box score.
And also Grunder.
And Grunder.
McCrae.
Yeah. Close enough.
Mispronounced that.
At least you got some of it, right?
Sure.
We don't judge. 50 seconds to go in the ball game. That's Tungate with it as it's tapped out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Railers. Ferguson looks to inbound. He'll get it over to Grunder. Now to Ferguson. Ferguson for a three off the front of the rim. No good.
Tungate underneath. Rebound,
back
good.
Up and good for Collier.
Oh, Collier, yeah. That's again.
Now Spauer looks to drive. He gets to the rim, but he's going to be fouled. And they're going to call Ferguson with that foul.
could have called out of control.
Yeah.
Well, they gave the Railers a run, Scott, for a half, I would say, 29-22 at half, and then the Railers went on that 14-5 run in the third, which really separated the ball game, and the Railers were in complete control after that. But you know, give Charleston a lot of credit. As you said, the game the last time the Railers took on Charleston was December 21st. That was a 62-27 victory for the Railers over in Charleston. And
we got 62 tonight. We just let them score 12 more than they did last time.
Yeah, and they shot the ball well from the perimeter.
Grunder now to Ferguson. Ferguson will dribble right. Now he'll get to the lane, get it down, try to get it to Tungate. Couldn't handle it, out of bounds. 8 seconds left in the game. And the Railers will move on to a record of 14-2, Josh.
Yeah, 14-2 and 7-0 in the league. So the Railers obviously sitting on the top of the Apollo and in the driver's seat, I think, for right now.
Absolutely. Your final score, the Lincoln Railers 62, the Charleston Trojans 39. We'll go to commercial break. We come back, we'll have the Josh Komnick Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic Center post-game show. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on W.
Charleston 39. Lincoln improves to 14-2 overall on the year, 7-0 in the Apollo Conference. Charleston will go to 7-12 overall on the year, 1-6 in the Apollo. Upcoming games for Lincoln, the Railers are back in action Friday night, January the 18th, taking on the Potters Court. And the Railers will be on the road next weekend, taking on the Panthers in Washington. That game scheduled for Saturday night. Friday night back home, here against Sport, Saturday night on the road at Washington. That will conclude basketball action for tonight. On behalf of all of us at Lincoln Community High School, we thank you for attending tonight's game. Please drive home safely, be aware of your surroundings, and always buckle up. Good night.
Still does have a slight wobble, but it's not.
Welcome back. Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Scott Kirby, Josh Komnick, Lloyd Kirby, sorry, with you here. Kirby. I can't say my own last name.
There's that. Probably help us out.
Look at that. The Rams.
St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, you know, that's the biggest bandwagon jumper I've ever seen in my life. So, you know, we're not going to mention any names, Joe Ryan. But anyway, your final score here at Roy S, 62-39. The Railers move on to 14-2 and undefeated in the Apollo, Josh.
Yeah, and it wasn't pretty, I don't think, by Coach Al's standards by any means for the first half, but defensively picked it up a little bit in the second half. Charleston missed some shots that they made in the first half. I don't know that they thought that they would continue to shoot like that. Obviously, they hoped they would, but the Railers did a good job of finding Jermaine early and often, and you know, if we didn't, Scott, we probably would have been in a world of trouble there in the first half. So Jermaine carried us throughout, finished with 20 on the game, and a lot of those were really point blank with about 7 jams tonight for Jermaine. They had no answer for him. We started to pick it up a little bit in the second half. Scoring came a little easier. The Railers hit a few outside jumpers and extended that lead to to the final of 62-39. So you look ahead a little bit before Coach Alexander comes and joins us. You look ahead, Scott, and the Railers are at home Friday against Morton, and then they're on the road against Washington. Going to be two similar style teams, but two very competitive games for the Railers. Two that they need, I think, coming up here this weekend.
Let's take another commercial break. We'll come back. We'll have some more post-game show. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on 96.3 FM.
We don't need the final stats.
He's going to bring him up. There he is.
No, we're talking about stats. We need stats.
Feel like Auburn.
Was it not online or something?
Thanks, man.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, so now it's just bonus. It's gonna leave that quick.
Roy did.
Lloyd said it's all right.
It's okay.
We need to build some other booth. It's a big site. And then we could just lock our stuff in there. Did you get that done? I'm throwing this way up here. Bryson must be in foul trouble or something. Blew one the other day. Welcome back to WLCN Gymnasium. Scott Kirby, Josh Komnick, Lloyd Kirby with you here this evening as the Railers were victorious 6-39. Komnick has some final stats for you.
Yeah, let's go through this. The Trojans were led by Isaac Miller. He had 13 points, 11 for Zach Finley, 8 for Cade Landris, 5 for Corey Spower, and Caleb Hurst finished with 2 for the 39 for the Trojans. They had 13 total rebounds, 4 of them offensive. They had 11 turnovers on 4 assists and 2 steals. The Trojans shoot 9 of 17 from the field and 4 of 9 from three-point land for 33%. The Railers were led tonight by Jermaine Hamlin. A perfect night shooting for Jermaine, 9 of 9 from the field. Missed a couple free throws. He was just 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds to go along with his team leading 20 points for Jermaine. He also had 2 assists and 1 block. The other guy in double figures for the Raiders tonight was Cam Whiteman. Cameron had 11. He was 4 of 8 from the field. 8 points for Dylan Singleton, 7 for Will Ewald, 5 for Caden Froby. But Froby had a nice game all around, though. Several assists and several rebounds for Froby as well. Not his scoring night, but the focus with tonight was for the Railers was find the ball or get the ball to Jermaine and let him do the work. The Railers had 16 total rebounds, 4 of them offensive, 11 assists on just 5 turnovers, and 9 steals for the Railers. Not a bad night for the Railers, Scott. They did a good job shooting the basketball. And, for the most part, they hung in there. As, again, a Tuesday night. We haven't shown well, really, on Tuesdays. Makeup game, I guess you can throw all the excuses you want. But the Railers didn't play very scrappy, very intense defense in the first half. Second half was better. Scoring became a little bit more easy for them as we started to make a few outside shots. Obviously, they were concentrating on Jermaine really heavily. And then we had a couple shooters. Ewald knocked down a couple. Whiteman from the perimeter with some. And Hollinger also. Hollinger with several big threes. He had 6 points also for the Railers and 5 for Wyatt Collier. So nice all-around scoring for the Railers, which is going to lead them into a tough weekend, as we talked about earlier. Morton comes to town on Friday night, and then the Railers will travel to, weather permitting. I hear a lot of people talking about the weather storm already for Saturday, but weather permitting, the Railers will.
Why can't that happen during the week? So I can go to work.
We'll be on the road in Washington, and wanted to try and clarify the Morton on the schedule now in the program does have a 7:30 start. Also a 7:30 start over in Washington. Normally we have a 7:30 start on Fridays, but a 6:30 start on Saturdays, but it's going to be a 7:30 start over in Washington, Illinois.
Well, the man himself is on his way up here, and we'll have to get on him for not proofreading the schedule here.
Yeah, that's a little false advertisement,
Yeah,
but we found it out. We figured it out. So
he's lucky he has us. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure, that's what for us.
Sure, that's what he's worried about. Railers again at home on Friday against Morton, Washington, and then the Railers back-to-back home games on Tuesday, January the 26th against Canton. Canton comes to Roy S. Anderson on January the 22nd, and then Friday, January the 25th, Muhammad Seymour comes back to Roy S. for an Apollo Conference game, and then we head down to Nokomis on the 26th. So we'll be covering a lot of basketball here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, if Mother Nature permits
right.
it and allows us to do that, and you know, if she's listening right now, let's do it during the week, like on a Thursday or Friday, so you know, some of us can get off work.
That would help.
Because we'd rather be in a gym. There's Coach Al right now putting on the headset. Coach, a win's a win. Charleston able to hang around their first half. Hamlin, it was the Hamlin show the first half, but Charleston hit some big threes there to stay within, you know, 3 to 6 points. But Railers were able to finish out strong, and you know, it's not a pretty win, but it is a win. They've had kind of a long time off, so it's nice to get back in the gym and get some another game under your belt.
Yeah, you know, it's been 10 days since we played, and you know, if we wouldn't have played tonight, who knows when we'd have played with the forecast of what's coming in this weekend. So it's a good game for us, but it looks like we've not seen a gym for 2 or 3 months, and you know, we were pretty sluggish, and you know, we made things happen when we had to. Jermaine, we made some great plays to him, and you know, he forced them to play around him, and you know, he had a nice ball game.
Yeah, Coach, you said it right. It started early and often, and didn't get any more point blank for Jermaine. Most of us would have made those shots, maybe not with the thunder that Jermaine's able to have, but they didn't put a lot of help side behind him in the first half. Did a little bit more in the second half, and then which opened up a few more opportunities for your shooters in the second half. But give Charleston some credit. Did they do some of that in the first meeting where they shot the ball relatively well?
No, they didn't shoot it as well at all, and we're really struggling defensively right now, and you know, we're not moving quickly, we're not getting to our spots, we're not getting hands on our balls, and you know, we've had a couple situations where it just like I call it a circus out there.
Yeah,
you know,
they were passing pretty quickly,
yeah.
and we were almost like a football analogy where you had your head on a swivel, and it looked like we had our head twirling around and couldn't find it.
That's not our defense at all. And you know, we'll continue to break it down, and you know, this group is not a very physically tough group, but we've got to be able to lock down a little bit better in what we're doing.
Yeah, Coach, and of course, in the second half, you're able to build on that lead that you took in the half, 29-22 at half, and had a nice third quarter where Whiteman hit a couple threes. Hollinger came in and hit a couple big threes. Something we're starting to see a little bit more is Hollinger coming up from the sophomore squad, and we thought early on, just from our point of view, he was a little nervous before he got in several games ago, but looks a lot more comfortable now.
Well, we hope so. I think he adds a lot to us. You know, he gives another shooter on the perimeter, and he is 6'3", and he is long, and you know, he's got a little bit of a knack for the ball. So, you know, he's probably going to see a little bit more and more as the year goes on.
Coach, the leading scorer comes into the game, Froby, Caden, with at about 16 points a game. Only had 5 tonight. Really didn't get it going early, but his floor game, he's the one that throws Jermaine a lot of those easy passes that leads Jermaine to dunks.
Yeah, he's great post feeder. You know, I think he does a nice job. I think we're all getting better at it because we're realizing how easy a basket that is.
Yeah.
And, you know, the things you got to work on now is you got to start reading backside help to where they're, you know, we as the coaches can't yell from the bench, skip the ball. It's got to be something that they pick up and see, so it's boom, right now. If we yell it, there's a second delay, and the defense is adjusted by the time it's made. So, you know, we can see it. Now then we've got to get them to see and understand what Jermaine does for us. I mean, he draws attention from all spots on the floor.
Tough weekend coming up, Coach. Morton comes to town, which we've seen them not recently, but of course in the Eden Electoral Round Robin, they've been a part of that for a number of years. And then you travel over to Washington, who's always a physical, well-coached team. 3 teams, obviously, the Railers, Morton, and Washington, pretty similar, I think, in what they do athleticism-wise and maybe size-wise. What's going to be the difference this weekend?
Well, we've got a guard. Morton is really good. They've got a 6'6" kid that's got a motor, got a couple guards. They got some shooters around the perimeter, and they like to inside out. And right now, we're really struggling to be able to cover something like that. So, you know, we're going to have to really find it real quick on how to guard it, because I think they've only lost maybe 2 or 3 games. So
really?
Morton is really, really good, and I think they were the 2 seed in the Pekin tournament this year. I think they got upset in the first game, but they are. It will be a battle for us. So hopefully we'll have our crowd. I know we didn't expect a good crowd with the short notice of the game tonight and also being on a Tuesday night. But you know, we hopefully we'll have a good crowd, because it's going to be a really, really good game.
Well, Coach, thanks for stopping by and speaking with us a little bit, and we will see you Friday right back here as the Railers set to take on the Potters from Morton, Illinois. Josh, any closing
No,
thoughts?
that's good that hopefully, as you said, Mother Nature cooperates and we get a weekend of basketball. Coach, I was thinking on Saturday as I was painting, because you wouldn't allow us to play, my wife made me paint the kitchen, and she was helping, but been a long time, I bet, since you've not had a weekend after January where you've not played.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and we went scouting Friday night, and we could have played Friday night,
Yeah.
but with that forecast and Charleston traveling as far as they, you know, they had to go, and I didn't want to be on my shoulders that they're out on the road in bad, icy, snowy conditions and so forth. So we decided to make the call, and their athletic director basically had the same feeling. So then we kind of got together yesterday afternoon and said, hey, we need to probably look at tomorrow. Both of us had the night off. I think we play about 3 games the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
And, you know, you lose the 2 this coming weekend and try to reschedule them. You know, we're still waiting for Chicago Harlan. We'd like to play it Monday night, but we're still waiting for them to get back to us. So it's been a couple days. So that game doesn't sound like it'll be made up unless it's here in the next day or so. So,
Well, Josh, as you were inside in your warm home painting, this guy out here was out scooping everybody's driveways. So
I'm sure you were
Saturday and Sunday.
probably charged him too.
no, not me. If it's him.
Oh, really? Coach was. Oh, okay. Well,
No,
you
he
hit him
was.
out.
He
Oh.
was out scooping everybody out.
I had his done before he even came out of the house.
It's a good Samaritan.
And then,
He's not lying.
And I ran out of gas. And he didn't even have gas
he
for me to
couldn't
finish. And he said, I'll scoop the rest. I'll bet if you drive by, there hasn't been one scoop shovel that's finished
it was
that
too
driveway.
hard. It's frozen.
Yeah, I know. Guy half your age is out there doing it for you.
That's right. Well,
Well, that'll do it for us here in Lincoln. Our next broadcast will be Friday, January 18th, and I don't know if we'll have much of a pregame, Josh, because we are covering the 8th grade county tournament. So no, the Nokomis next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday is a pretty special night for a lot of people. Nokomis is really looking forward to us coming down there, and they think we're going to bring the whole town. But Coach Wallace is going to be back.
Oh, wow.
Coach Flowers, who was Coach Wallace's assistant for years, as well as the football coach, and he's coming back with his family, and I think there will be a lot of people there. I think there's a reception after the game. They've got a park house right next to the school there for people from Lincoln if they're wanting to stop by and talk with Coach Wallace after the game. So
nice.
That will be the 26th,
yep.
Which will be a week from Saturday. So if you're not doing anything, well,
those that don't know, I mean, you're from Nokomis. You played there. And Nokomis' coach, you played with him as well?
I grew up with their coach.
Right.
Him and I grew up in a little town called Fillmore, and Coach Flowers was also grew up with us, and so it's kind of a reunion of some people that have been around athletics for a long time, and I still consider Coach Wallace as one of the greatest coaches in the state of Illinois, and he spent 10 years here at Lincoln, and hopefully we can have people that would want to go down there and visit with him a little bit, and I think his whole family's going to be there. So if you're not got plans, it's a weekend off yet. So the 26th, and hopefully we can have a good Lincoln crowd.
Absolutely, Coach, and we'll talk more about that coming up this weekend on the cheap seats, and as well as after the games Friday and Saturday. That is going to do it from us. We will be back here Friday, January 18th, and we will also be covering the 8th grade Logan County tournament, so we may not have much of a pregame, so bear with us. For station manager Jim Ash, studio producer director Paula Kodat, and Josh Komnick, this is Scott Kirby. Once again, the final score, Lincoln 62, Charleston 39. The Railers now stand at 14-2. And we hope you enjoyed this broadcast and would like to thank our listeners for listening and our sponsors for sponsoring. This has been a production of WLCN Sports 96.3 FM. We ask you patronize our sponsors and say thank you for allowing us to bring you Railer basketball. From Lincoln, Illinois, good evening, everyone. It's time to send you back to the studio for the Classic Rock Experience, starring Jeff number 2 on the Nighttime Fix 96.